what happened yesterday was there was a report that was published by NBC News, which cited 3 senior intelligence officers, didn't cite their names, 3 senior intelligence officers. After the 2016 election, President Obama had ordered that there be a review of what happened in the 2016 election. And what these 3 senior intelligence officers said was that they believed that 7 states' election systems were compromised. Now, what they said was the votes were not impacted, but these 7 believed states, one of which was Alaska, were compromised in a variety of different ways. And there's different ways that you can compromise elections. You don't have to get in and change the voter tally. You don't have to get in and change the votes. What you could do, and what experts have speculated happened, was they got in and they removed people from the voter rolls, for example. So we know, I think it's irrefutable at this point that the Russian government, a hostile foreign nation, attempted to influence our 2016 election. That's irrefutable. There have been 13 Russians who have been indicted on the federal level for trying to impact our election. I think this body has an obligation to review what happened. I don't know what happened. I have trust in the Division of Elections. I don't think they're being dishonest with us. But at the same time, when I hear that 3 senior intelligence officials are saying that 7 states were potentially compromised, including my state, which we represent, which we take a constitutional oath to protect our Constitution, we've got an obligation to review that. We've got legislative oversight obligations in this body, and one of those obligations is to ensure that when we know there is an assault on our democracy, when we know there's a foreign nation who's actively tried to assault our democracy in 2016, and we know they're still doing it. We're hearing intelligence reports, they're still doing it. I think it's, I question sticking our heads in the sand and saying nothing happened. We've got an election in 8 months. We have an obligation to ensure that our system is not going to be impacted. Our election website's not going to be impacted. Our Alaskans' information published on our election databases is not being compromised in any way. I think we have an obligation to Alaskans. I think we have an obligation to our democracy to ensure that our system is protected. We've got 3 senior intelligence officials saying this is a compromise. Our state was compromised. And we've got multiple, the entire intelligence community agrees with that. So I think we shouldn't stick our heads in the sand. We should address this head on. Let's have a hearing. Let's find out what exactly happened. We have conflicting information. I think that's what you do in a democracy. You go ahead, you have hearings, you figure out what happened, and you ensure that it doesn't happen again, or that there's no threat that it could happen again.